In this example, we'll try to emulate this particular window. The best way to get started is just play around with some code that already exists. That code is in the Fxml zip example. So let's click on that. And it's downloaded here. I'll do show in folder, double click, and I will copy this code to my desktop. That way I just have easy access to it. I'm just going to look at all the source code, and it has all the information here. So this is what we're trying to do in class. So I then want you to go to Eclipse. I'm in Package Explorer. Let's create a new project. I'll call this File, New. And we can make it a simple Java project. I know in class we did EFX, but because we have the sample code already, we don't need it to generate anything for us right now. So I'm going to click on just a regular Java project for now. I'll call this 05. Let's call this 02 tax lookup. Let's click on next. And I can just click on finish for now. And again, the reason it's slightly different than what we did in class is because I have a lot of the code here. So what I'm going to do is let's copy at this level Fexample. I'll drag it here into source. And I want you to say copy files and folder. Let's click on that. Everything should work automatically. So now let's just click on this class for now. Let's look for the class that's responsible for driving the code. So I can tell it's this class because one of the first things I'm looking for is main, and this is what actually launches the application. So if we right click here and let's say run Java application, let's just see if it works out of the box. Oh, nice. It's working. Now, let's change a couple of things so it matches what we need. So the first thing I want to do is let's change the title. So let's change this to say tax lookup. Let's close this just to see if the change took place. Let's run it again. And there it goes, tax lookup. And let's change this also, welcome, to say tax lookup. Now remember, the GUI is defined by what's in this particular file. So if I look at here, it says welcome, okay, and I'll change that to tax search. Let's save it, and let's just execute it one more time to see. There it goes, tax search. Now if you remember, this represents the first row, we'll actually say in row 0, and it's in column 0, but we're doing a call span on 2. Now let's change username to tax code. So let's change that to tax code. If we run it again, there goes tax code. Now next to tax code, we have this text field, and that one we don't need to change. This, let's change to tax, oh, don't forget, leave it in quotes, so we'll be violating XML, tax information. Let's run it again just to view it, tax information. Now the next thing to do is, let's go to the sign in. Okay, and that sign in here is indicated by that text right there. So let's click on the window. There goes the sign in. I'll close this and say here, let's change that to search. Save it. And now we have the tax lookup. We have the tax search, the tax code, and tax information. So this was the goal, to emulate this in the class. Now let's go over some of the code just to be sure what's going on. If we look at the Fxml example, notice what's happening here is that this code knows to load that particular XML file based on this line right here. So right here, this is our driver class, which drives the application. We then set the title here after the class has been loaded into this application, or I should say this Fxml example has been loaded to this application. You're then in root here, then you set up the stage. The title has a lookup, stage scene, and the next thing you see here is that the scene is being built based on the root, which is where the XML is based on, and then this is the width and height. Okay, so if we look at set scene, okay, we can see that it takes in a scene, and we have the width and height here. That's it for this code right here, and we'll talk about it more in detail.